goddamn military.
The
And
Pentagon,
I'm fucking livid that we are stuck in the timeline where Alex Jones is right. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. We got a special episode today and a great special guest, but first things first, shout out to where you can go get our sponsored merch over at sneckswagstore.com. Links are in the description. Highlighted shirt today, the newest one available. The People's Power and Propaganda is a Weapon. Available only on sneckswag.com, where you can get all your favorite Liberty merch. Now, before we bring her on, I just want to give a big shout out to our guest today. Someone who, when I started this show just a few weeks ago, I had talked to Reag Coverdale and some of the guys over in the Tower Gang. I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to set the sights high and I'm going to get Shoe on the show because it's going to be hilarious because she never comes on or interacts. But we've got the Bimbo who puts Bimbo and Bimbo Populist. Everybody give a welcome to Shoe0nHead.
Hello. What a great introduction. Hi. Thanks for having me on.
It's awesome. Like I said, like when I first started this show, I was pitching it back and forth with Reed because I'd been helping him with his show and I'd been on his show a bunch. And he's like, "Oh, who are you gonna have on a guest?" I'm like, "I'm gonna get Shoe."
I wore my Tax the Rich shirt just for this show.
the one you paid, what is it, $70 for it?
It's like, okay, it's American Union made, all right? It's not outsourced, no cheap China outsourcing here. So
best part about those shirts is she fulfills them through Printful. So while there are American made, so are all the Gildan shirts on the website as well. Snack Store uses the exact same supplier and charges $30 less.
Oh, all right, nice. So either way, I literally got it because me and some libertarian person were fighting about it. And I just like spite bought it. It's like I'm gonna so yeah.
But my brother's fiance bought one and she was posting all proud of it on Facebook. And so I sent her my taxation is theft version of the exact same shirt. And she was fucking livid with me.
Nice. You know, I said on the Tower Game podcast, like I wish taxes weren't a thing. Like, I don't want poor people, middle class people. I don't want people to pay tax. Like, wish they weren't a thing. But again, like I said, it's more of like we live in society. We got to throw money in the pot for everybody else. We're a big community. We're a big family. We all have to help each other. That's my mindset. So fuck taxes though, but it's like a necessary, like.
All right. Well, I mean, if you were going to go down that road, if you were going to go down that road and you could eliminate one tax today, what would it be?
One tax?
Yep. Of all of the taxes you pay every day, what would be the one you would eliminate?
I don't know. What would you?
Property tax.
Property?
Property, because property tax is the one tax you can't evade. Mm-hmm. I evade income taxes by dealing mostly in cryptocurrency and working self-employed and taking contracts to pay in cash. I can avoid sales taxes by living in New Hampshire and not having to pay sales taxes. I can avoid tariffs by buying American-made goods. I can't avoid property taxes. And if I don't pay property taxes, the government will come and kick me out of my own home.
Yeah. Yeah, no, makes sense.
So, that is just the worst.
Is New Hampshire just like libertarian utopia or like what?
I mean, it's getting there.
Like everything you've told me about New Hampshire is like you can pay for things in crypto and like, how does that work? Do you have a crypto card?
Some do. So there's a couple services out there, like crypto.com offers a card where you can deposit crypto and they'll handle the transfer to fiat. So when you swipe it, dollars get spent. Cash App does the exact same thing. You can deposit Bitcoin to your Cash App, and when you swipe your Cash App card, it'll spend dollars on your behalf. The stores that I frequent actually take cryptocurrency. And it wasn't easy to get them there. It was a years-long process of a lot of free staters and libertarians going to these restaurants and saying, "Hey, can I pay in Bitcoin?" And after like a couple years of the waitresses saying, "What the fuck is Bitcoin?" It was eventually, how do we take Bitcoin? And then it became, would you like to pay in Bitcoin Cash or Monero instead? As they started accepting them at more and more places. And it's as simple as like they'll have a tablet that'll have a Bitcoin wallet rigged up to a POS system. There's a company called AnyPay that makes a POS for restaurants and small businesses to use that'll take crypto for them. And they don't charge any fees.
Interesting. That's cool. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. All right, I don't know what Bitcoin even is. Literally, people have explained it to me so many times, and I'm just like, yeah, all right. It's getting to the point where I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's a thing. Like, it's like how do planes fly? You just kind of accept it. Like, okay, that's a thing. Like, I don't want to even I don't want to think about the logistics. It's just a thing.
What's a dollar?
What do you mean?
What's a dollar?
It's like a piece of paper. It's fake. We made it up.
Exactly. How's that any different than Bitcoin?
That's true, but like, how did we? Okay, let's say like I want to make like this phone case is currency now. All right, I just say it's currency.
As long as somebody's willing to accept it and trade
accept it as currency.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. That's what it is. But like, how do you mine it? Like when people are like, I'm mining Bitcoin.
Well, like that's a lot of math and computer science involved in that.
Oh, all right. Never mind then. Don't.
I'm not even well equipped to explain crypto mining to you.
Great.
But there's more digital dollars than there is Bitcoin, as Andrew points out in the comments. Like, you say it's a physical piece of paper. It's not a physical piece of paper. One of my favorite Saturday Night Live skits ever was in the run-up for the primary election last year. They were making fun of Elizabeth Warren, which I know is really easy to make fun of Elizabeth Warren. But she was doing a town hall, and somebody asks her, like, how are you going to pay for this? And the actress turns around, and her response is, you ready to get red-pilled, kids? Money isn't real.
Yeah.
She's like, it's numbers
it's
made
fake.
up on a
we
computer.
Made it up. Yeah. I mean, like, listen, money's not real. Let's just print more money. What's the worst that can happen? Like, okay, inflation can happen. So what? Like, just change the numbers. Like, it's just made up. Come on, guys.
That's the redenomination, and that's
just
what Zimbabwe did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the problem with hyperinflation is when you get into hyperinflation and the value of what you have is reduced, it actually hurts the elderly and the poor the worst.
Yeah, that was a joke, just so everybody knows. I know that printing more money is not how you do it.
Unfortunately, your congressmen don't know that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, when I'm president, all right, we're just going to print more money. Okay.
So if you start printing more money, I'm going to voluntarily go to Gitmo. At least the beach is going to be nice.
Yeah.
For those of you who aren't aware, Shoe's campaign platform is to send blue checks to Gitmo.
Yeah.
And I for one,
how'd you get a check? You ran for Congress, right, or something?
I got it before that because I wrote a book.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it just appeared one day. I didn't get asked. It just kind of showed up one day, but it does come. It does come with different features. Like my Twitter dashboard looks different than a normal Twitter dashboard.
Really?
It has a whole different inbox for verified, so I only see shit that other blue checks post unless I.
Wow, it's like a cult.
It is. It's terrible.
See, like sometimes I'm tempted to get one just because people like because it just makes you look more official, and like people are like, oh, this is the real Shoe0nHead, because there's people who like make fake profiles and stuff, and like people get messed up and whatever. And also it's harder to get banned if you have like a blue check.
I'm convinced of this. It is impossible to get banned if you have a blue check and your name is not Donald Trump. I have been trying. I have been pushing the envelope and trying and unable to get banned. Twitter just won't touch me. And I don't know
like
what
you're
it is.
untouchable. So I call the checks like the bourgeoisie of Twitter. Like you're like a different class from everybody else. And I'm sometimes tempted because I could get one, like if I wanted to, but also it's like the mark of the beast, and I don't know if I can do it. So yeah. But
I was reported to Twitter over 10,000 times last week.
What did you do? I'm scared to ask.
I had posted like all these talks of mandates, lockdowns, and continued war. Make me empathize with Timothy McVeigh.
Oh, okay. I see. Yes.
And that tweet ended up getting reported over 10,000 times, and over 1,000 people commented just tagging the FBI.
Why? Well, stop. Like
nothing.
I make jokes about like sympathizing with Ted K like all the time.
That's mainstream now.
That true. Okay, yeah, true. All right. Yeah, we're just stand in terrorist here. Normal.
Over the summer when I was coming back from PorkFest, I got a email from Twitter to tell me I was under investigation by the German government.
Oh, yeah, they do that.
For reports made by somebody in Germany. And it's like the German government has requested transcripts of all your Twitter records.
Yeah.
We've reviewed them and found you did nothing wrong. I'm like,
weird.
Then why the fuck is the German? Like,
God, that's so weird.
I just screenshotted it, tweeted it, and tagged the German embassy with, you know where to find me.
Yeah. Yeah, when I went to I'm so surprised that I was not investigated by the FBI when I went to the January 6th thing, because I made so many jokes before it happened. I literally added Mitch McConnell, and I was like, Mitch McConnell, turn on your location. Like, I was making like all these jokes that, like, before any of that happened, I was making all these jokes, and then even like after it happened, I was making jokes that I went to Nancy Pelosi's office and like all this stuff, and like still like Nothing. Very surprised. Very, very surprised.
January 6th was the day I started trying to see what it would take to get sanctioned by Twitter. Because when they banned Trump, I was like, what did Trump get banned for? I went and tracked down the video. I'm like, that's what he got fucking banned for? He told everyone to go home. He told everyone it was over and go home and be peaceful. As you said in your video, Daddy loves you.
Daddy loves you.
Hilarious.
Oh, my little pog champs.
I was like, ridiculous. What does it fucking take? And so I started tweeting like, all right, take hostages. Like, okay, I started interacting with people there. Like, people are taking selfies inside. I'm like, fucking sweet, burn it to the ground. And like, nothing.
It was really scary being there. It was like, because I was only like a few minutes away. And so like, we got locked in our hotel, basically. They were like, they did a full shutdown. Nobody can leave, right? And like, I was 4 minutes away from all of it happening. And like, all we heard was, oh, someone got shot. We didn't know it was Ashley Babbitt at the time, but all we heard, I was watching the news, like just glued onto the news and on my phone for like an hour. We were just like, me and my friend were just like in silence watching it. And we were like, oh, someone got shot. Oh my God. It was so scary. I was like, my anxiety was like through the roof watching this all happen. It was such a bizarre experience. It reminded, you know how like all the liberals on Twitter are like comparing it to 9/11 in like the stupidest fucking ways?
Because Reag keeps egging them on.
Yeah. No, like this is worse than 9/11. It did remind me though of when I was little, glued to the screen, like watching the 9/11 stuff happen. That's the only way it reminded me of 9/11. Like the mindset of you're witnessing history happen and you're like there. It was surreal. It was like crazy. But comparing it to 9/11, like in any other way, is ridiculous to me.
Well, like, so watching it on TV, I was watching it on TV from a basement in Manchester, New Hampshire, not there. It looked to me to like be completely overblown. Like, it didn't seem that bad at all. Like, from just watching it based on riots I'd been in, based on things I'd experienced in Boston and New Hampshire. Like just 2 summers ago, I went down to help protest against the Straight Pride Parade in Boston because that was fucking stupid.
Yeah. Didn't like nobody show up though? Did people show up?
Oh, thousands of people showed up.
Really?
Yeah. So the free speech rally, the first one, 40 people showed up and 40,000 showed up to protest against it. But the Straight Pride Parade was packed. They had a full parade of like, those were the lolberts and the assholes. I can tell you a story about this time. Myself and Andrew Olding and a few of our friends were at dinner with a few people that we were friends with after we went to the British consulate to protest Assange's extradition. And Antifa showed up to protest against us, protesting against Assange's extradition. Yeah.
What?
Boston Antifa are kind of retarded.
Okay. Why would they? I feel like Assange is one of those things that people are like usually unified against. That's interesting.
At one point, they started chanting, "Free Chelsea, fuck the fash," and we're like, "Yeah, that too, free Chelsea."
Yeah,
too. And they didn't know how to respond. Like, wait, what?
Okay.
Like,
because you guys are like your libertarian group, so maybe they just show up wherever you go, regardless. Right. Yeah.
Well, those Boston people that organized the protest, turns out they just had a long-standing beef with Antifa, so they were showing up against them. We ended up going up to dinner afterwards with the people who organized that protest, and they pitched us the idea of the Straight Pride Parade. And
really,
I am ashamed to say that we could not convince them it was a bad idea.
It was so goofy. Like, I'm perfectly fine with them having it. obviously. I'm sure you are too. But it's just like,
To me, it mattered what your intent was. And I asked
yeah.
Brandon Navam, the guy who organized it, I asked him repeatedly at dinner that night, I'm like, why do you want to do this? Like,
Yeah.
do you actually want to like protest the existence
were-
of all these events? Do you want to protest collectivism? Do you want to protest like collective ideology? He's like, no, I want to trigger the left. I'm like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah,
Like,
it was so goofy.
but
I
that
don't
day, we went down to the parade. I went with Andrew Olding, Adam Kakesh, and a few other people, and I brought cameras because I do freelance photography.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to take pictures of what I knew was going to be a riot. I'm like, there's no way this ends non-violently. I got on video captain of the Boston Police Department starting the riot by punching a small girl in the face.
Holy shit. Of course.
It was completely peaceful. Like, they were yelling at each other across the lines. And then this cop just reaches over and punches this girl in the face and drops her to the ground. Oh my
God.
At which point it just went nuts.
Of
Next
course.
thing I know, I'm on the ground. I look around. There's like 12 cops on the ground wrestling with people. And I hear 400 Boston police officers start chanting in unison, "Stay alive." And I'm like, we're all going to die.
Holy shit. That's scary. And yeah, they always like started, almost always, not always, but almost always it's them start. Like, there's so many videos of like, you know, protesters and the police will randomly just pepper spray someone or like push them or whatever. And it's like, what the fuck? Are they like told to do that? Or is this just them being power hungry?
When I was trying to run away from that fight, because like I had my cameras, I had it on video. I'm like, at this point, like I serve no other purpose other than getting this video online. The very cop who punched the woman started chasing me down. Jesus. And I ended up turning around and getting a shot of the stream of mace as it was about to hit me.
Jesus.
But from that picture, like when I put that picture up on Twitter, like libertarians and the left united instantly to identify and dox this Boston police officer.
Yeah.
And they like his badge number, it was Captain Jack Donnelly. He was a captain.
Yeah. Wow. Holy shit.
The unit he's the captain of happened to be the unit where all three of the fatal shootings in Boston over the past 4 years were his unit.
Wow. Fucking sketchy.
And since he has been promoted to deputy chief.
Of course. Yeah.
So. Of
course, that always happens. Also, like them covering their name badges. Do you remember that? Like when the Black Lives Matter protests were going on, they were covering their name badges. That's sketchy as hell. Yeah.
At one point, at the free speech rally, the one 40,000 people showed up to protest. A friend of mine, we went and got a bunch of video, and I published that. That got taken off of YouTube for promoting violence. But I got a video of the police crashing through a protest line and just knocking people to the ground and beating the crap out of them. At one point, I just got a message online from somebody. He's like, "Hey, do you have the raw footage from that with this timestamp?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." Why? He's like, "Oh man, I'm that cop. I'd love to have that." And I'm like,
what a freak!
Fuck you!
Yeah. Oh my god.
Fuck yourself.
What a fucking freak.
They wanted to use it for training.
Really?
Yeah. He said they wanted to use my video as training footage about how to break riot lines.
God, they're such freaks.
They're fucking horrible.
See, that's one thing we could unite on. Fuck the police. There you go.
Fuck the police. Fuck Meghan McCain. Fuck the military-industrial complex.
Meghan McCain in particular.
And Liz Cheney.
And Liz Cheney, yeah, in particular.
Although Liz Cheney hasn't blocked me yet. I told her she should have gone quail hunting with her father this morning. And she still hasn't blocked me.
Wait, so when it comes to police, are you a MIC police, private police person? Are you abolish the police and have community policing? What are you?
Community policing would be the best. Okay. Abolish police and allow communities to determine their own security needs. Like neighborhood watch is all you should need. Even a minarchist approach, if you didn't want to abolish the police, I think at the bare minimum, we need to scale down police to the point where they operate like the fire department. They respond to calls instead of going looking for trouble.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good alternative. Yeah, I'm not an abolish the police person. I'm a I'm just a reform the police sort of lib.
I don't think
kind
the
of-
police are reformable, and unfortunately,
yeah.
it's because of the labor union.
Oh, really?
So,
well, yeah, unions. The police union is they're a mob. Yeah,
they're the worst. Here in Manchester, New Hampshire, where I live, it's the worst.
Mhm.
They just posted a job posting on the Manchester Police Facebook page.
Mhm.
Like, we're hiring new cops, and under unique and interesting benefits, such as qualified immunity. And then under benefits later along, they listed like 401k, PTO, qualified immunity.
Wow.
And we're like,
that's fucked.
Fuck you.
That's
and
fucked.
they got dragged to the point they deleted the job posting on Facebook. But
wow.
That's like only a symptom. The current police chief, he put out an apology saying it was an inappropriate time to talk about qualified immunity.
Oh my God. Just an inappropriate time. Like,
You're right.
Wow.
Just an inappropriate time, not an inappropriate subject.
Caught. Yeah.
Yeah. But he is the police chief currently because the former chief resigned in disgrace. The reason the former chief resigned in disgrace is because we had a police officer get narked on for planting evidence on black teenagers and bragging about it.
Holy fuck. God, I hate them.
He got narked on. The chief took his department issued cell phone, found the text messages of him bragging about it on his department issued cell phone, and fired him. So the chief fired him. The union sued, and the union sued and pushed for arbitration, got him hired again. And the officer that narked on him got fired.
Yeah.
So the old police chief put up he went to the town, he took to the town's Facebook page, hijacked the Facebook page and said, I will not be the chief of a corrupt piece of shit organization. Fuck all of you. I'm out.
Nice.
And now we're stuck with the chief that loves qualified immunity.
Oh my God, this sucks. Yeah, I know exactly. Like all the good ones will wind up quitting and it will only leave like the assholes. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it sucks.
News that we wanted to talk about now.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're getting there. Yesterday, I found myself for the first time in my life cheering for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that was possible. I didn't think it was remotely close to possible.
Mhm.
When I saw the news, I saw the tweet, Joe Biden to schedule 3:45 press conference to make an announcement about Afghanistan. I'm like, well, we're going back.
Yep.
I'm like, we're going back. It's not over. What did you think was going to happen?
I didn't actually watch the speech yet, but I did see his tweets, and they were really good. They were like what I would write if I was the fucking president, right? Really strong, really like unifying, really like what people have been probably wanting to hear for like 20 years. He was just like, this, we didn't go for nation building, which is say it louder for the people in back, please. That's not what we fucking were there for. All these people like, oh, women's rights. Like we weren't there for that. That was not, you're an idiot if you think that's what's going on there. And if that was why we were going on there, why aren't we in Pakistan? What about Saudi Arabia that we give so much money to? Like, anyway, so, his tweets were great. I still haven't watched the speech, but yeah, like I voted for Joe Biden and it was kind of like a cope vote. I voted him through the Workers' Party. I think that's what it's called. Working Families Party. So cause I refused to give the DNC any like props. So that was like a big cope vote for me because I fucking hate Joe Biden, but I hated Trump more. I think he was just a disaster for politics.
At least he was entertaining.
He was funny. Like I want Trump to just kind of leave politics and just like start a podcast or something.
I want him to get Twitter back.
Yes, I want him to have his Twitter back. Yes. Jack, never forget what Jack took from us. Trump was our best poster. But yes.
Like Trump, how many people got Twitters just because of Trump?
Exactly. So his presidential things that he emails out are pretty funny, but
from the desk.
Yeah, from the desk. Yeah, his tweets. Some of them are literally structured like tweets. It's really funny. You could tell that he just misses Twitter. Honestly, I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Biden surprised me because, of course, he's probably gonna do some fuck shit. Like, it's not over. We're probably gonna go to Iran. We're gonna do something, right?
Viva la Cuba.
Yeah. So like, my hopes aren't up or whatever. I think it was a sloppy pull out. Like, I don't think it was perfect. Obviously, there's a lot of issues.
Well, Well, so one of the things that resonated me with his speech, like the paraphrase what he said, like I'm sitting here dismayed. I'm like, I got it on my other screen while I'm working, and I'm like, all right, we're going back to Afghanistan. And he opens the speech with Afghanistan can get fucked. I'm like, oh, basically. Shit. Like, what? And like he just goes into like, not our fucking problem. Pick up a rifle and fight for yourself and stop fucking asking for help. I'm like, what? And like he capped it off with saying like 20 years of nation building has been a mistake, and I take my share of the blame. I'm like, no politician's ever done that.
Yeah. No, it was really he's been surprising me on a few things. I'm still in this stage of I hate him just because I do. And I think almost it's like I'm just like bitter because like I wanted Bernie, obviously. And like I'm just like, oh, I fucking hate Biden. So even when he does something bad, I'm like all to sundry about it. I'm just like, yeah, I guess this is good, whatever. But yeah, I'm like, again, obviously there's problems with how we pulled out, but he's doing it. Trump didn't do it. He's doing it.
Well, he actually blamed Trump for it. That was the best part.
Oh, yeah.
He said we had to pull out because Trump made a deal.
Yeah.
He's like,
they worked together. Yeah.
He's like, my only choice was to honor Trump's deal or start a third decade of war. It's like a shitty choice. Fuck. We honored Trump's deal. And then, like, immediately I saw somebody post a GIF of George Bush, like, bopping at a concert.
Oh, I saw that, yeah. Like, people fighting.
When everyone's fighting over whether or not to blame Biden or Trump and forgot that you started the war.
Yeah. And then there's the people saying, like, what do you want us to stay for 20 more years? And there's, like, neocons and neoliberals online, like, yes. Like
Marianne Williamson.
Oh, yeah, you have to tell me about that. I don't know about the Marianne Williamson drama.
What, you were defending her.
Well, I said I will never bully you, Queen, because I love Marianne Williamson.
She was simping for war.
Was she? Was she? Wait, is this an exaggeration?
No, it is not an exaggeration. If Reed was here, he'd fucking start going on by now. But no, the only one here right now is Jose is still simping for you in chat.
Oh, hello.
But Marianne Williamson like responded to Bill Kristol about, and I think the tweet was along the lines of like, anti-interventionist and anti-imperialist ideas cannot overcome our obligation to protect the women of Afghanistan. And then people pushed her on it, and she responded like confirming like, yes, we should keep troops in Afghanistan because 20 million women are going to be exposed to the Taliban if we pull out and we don't support it. And so at that point, me and Reed are like, well, we're going to bully you till you consider self-harm for this.
No, my poor fucking Marianne. She's such a sweetheart. She has a big heart, and I understand where she's coming from, okay? But I'm still on the team, like, there's only so much we can do. Okay, right now, with what's happening in China, is a fucking... there's literally a genocide, basically, happening in China. And what do you want us to do? You want us to go there? Want us to invade there? Like, there's so much things happening all over the world, and unfortunately, like, again, if we lived in a perfect world, just like with taxes, just like how I wish there was no taxes, I wish we could save everybody, you know? I wish we could. I wish it was possible, but America's fucking, we're like the Team America World Police movie. We just fucking go in there, we make things worse, and I'm not a fan of imperialism, so...
At one point, like I had quote tweeted Marianne was saying, like, if this war was about protecting women's rights, then we would be in Saudi Arabia, not Afghanistan.
We would be in Pakistan, there's a lot of places like that, but Saudi Arabia is one of our allies.
And then my mentions, like, I started getting attacked by women claiming to be Saudi Arabian, saying we're treated better than American women. You keep your army out of our country. Go get fucked. I'm like, what?
Like, yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, we don't want to go invade your country. We're just. It's just an example. Yeah, like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just an anti-interventionalist. I'm like borderline isolationist though, so I'm like more extreme than that. So like, which people will argue against, but I'm not like super good at foreign policy, so I try not to. I'll like say my opinion, but I never say I'm some kind of expert or anything like that. Like, I know I'm not an expert, so I'll never just fucking end it.
End foreign policy. America first. Trump had something right.
No, literally though. Like
Shoe is gonna make America first again.
Yeah, all right. So like we have to focus on ourselves because one, our country's falling apart. Two, we just fucking suck at helping other countries. We just suck at it. We're just not good at it. So yeah, I'm like an America first anti-imperialist, basically, which makes no sense. Because usually when someone's like a weirdo nationalist, they're like an imperialist too, because they want everywhere else to be, you know, more America. They want the world to be America, but I don't want the world to be America. I think that America's doo-doo sometimes.
So earlier on in chat, when we first started, somebody had asked a question that I kind of want to address now. I can't find the question. Found it. Like, how do we reconcile the success of European, especially Scandinavian countries with libertarian beliefs? Because Scandinavian countries are generally democratically socialist in how, or social democracies in how they operate. The reason those countries are able to afford to do that is because the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea obligates the United States Navy to be the patrol and defense force of the entire global ocean.
Really? All right.
And those countries do not have a defense budget. They don't protect their own trade routes. Their trade and cargo ships are protected by U.S. naval and Coast Guard vessels.
Yeah, we're doing everything for like every other country, and then we're not even
like,
getting.
I have told people like I oppose universal health care fundamentally as someone who, as a living, works in the insurance industry and can tell you how awful that would be with government management. I would take universal health care as a trade-off for slashing the military budget and ending our world policing in a heartbeat.
Yeah, well, yeah, same. Yeah,
like that is a trade I'd be willing to make in a heartbeat. Unfortunately, it's not realistic because in order for the United States to reduce its defense budget and reduce its military spending, these other social democracies in European countries would actually have to pick up the slack because there is issues with piracy. There is issues with human trafficking and other things that no other country polices. It's just the United States Navy.
Literally world policing. Like that's what we do. Yeah. And we get none of the benefits. Right. Yeah.
Well, we get cheap shit from China.
Yeah. True.
We get cheap shit from China without pirates having to work for it.
Yeah. No. Very true.
But on to one of the other things, like universal health care, be what it may. I know I'm not going to convince your viewers, minds who are watching right now, and I know my viewers aren't going to be convinced by you if we end up getting into a debate on it. But like, when we want to look at things that like progressives like yourself and libertarians like me disagree on, it distracts from all the things that we do agree on. And I saw there was a big thing, like your appearance on the Tower Power Gang. Like it seemed watching it like you enjoyed the show. You had good banter with the guys.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I think you guys need to talk to a leftist. Oh, sorry, I have ADHD. I fucking jump in all the time. Just keep going. I got it.
And it seemed like just talking to each other, you guys were able to identify areas of agreement and areas of disagreement and focus on agreement and working past those issues where a lot of our online interaction between progressives and libertarians is just typed out in tweets and it's all fuck you, no. And people don't identify the areas where we agree, like the fact that Ronald Reagan is the devil.
Yeah. So like the problem is, though, I think I'm probably more easy to get along with just because I'm bad at debating and I don't like debating and I don't like confrontation. So I feel like you guys are fun to talk to, but I feel like you need to talk to a leftist who is good at arguing their points as opposed to me, who, again, like I said on the Tower Power Hour, if you say the sky is fucking red or orange or whatever, I'll just be like, yeah, maybe you have a point. Yeah, I could see that. Like, so I think you need to talk. I'll try to get you in touch with like other people, maybe Vosh or somebody who can like argue their points better.
Well, so here's the thing, I'm the same way. I hate debating.
I can't do it.
I hate debating. It's not that I can't do it. It's not that I'm unwilling to do it. It's just to me, it doesn't serve a purpose. Because when you're debating somebody, to me, engaging in debate means that you acknowledge you're not going to change each other's mind. You're just trying to push a narrative for those who are watching to get more information. And to me, when I talk to somebody who I disagree with, my work is in sales. I've worked in sales for years. I want to make agreements with people. I want to get people on the same side of things. I want people to recognize that there is no, like us versus them. It's us versus the state. And I think that progressives and libertarians are so fucking close to each other that we just talk past each other so often that we're not recognizing that we have this massive alliance that could be formed against the state.
Yeah, like one thing that I noticed when talking to libertarians online is they'll assume that I like stan the government. I like the government. It's like, no, I don't. I think they suck. Like,
I think they're getting that impression from your commenters and your viewers, not necessarily from you. Because like I've watched your content, I've watched all your Hell Worlds and all your content, and like have a fair good idea of like where you stand, and like I like you because I agree with so much of what you have to say, even though we come from different approaches. The other night, when I was watching Hell World 4, when it first stopped, a friend walked into the room and said, "Why are you watching a communist?" I'm like, what? Communist? Like, but his only knowledge of you was what he'd read in comments and seen on me.
That's so. It is so funny the different views of all the different communities have, because you ask the left-wing community, I'm like a fascist. I'm like a far-right person. You ask the right-wing community, I'm like a communist. It's like insane. So funny.
So wildly, I haven't even been familiar with you that long. Mind blowing, I know. But it was just like a few months ago, like I stumbled across something you tweeted and like was like, okay, sure. And then like you followed me back on Twitter, and like I noticed how many followers you had, and I asked somebody in the room, like, who the fuck is Shoe0nHead? And their response was, you don't know who Shoe is? I'm like, no. And they're like, God. She's the original libertarian e-girl.
What? Libertarian?
That's how they described you.
Okay. I was definitely more of like a centrist or a liberal, but I guess I'm a libertarian. I called myself a social libertarian a few years ago. That was like the label I was running with, social libertarian. I don't know. Now I just go with left-wing populist because it's just easier. But yeah, I kind of for anything. I tried like all these trying on labels, just like trying on different outfits, like what fits. Like I was a centrist, then I was a left-leaning centrist, liberal for a long time, social libertarian, sock them, and then I don't even know. I don't really, honestly, I have no idea.
Big Mac has a question. We want to know why you think Biden's pullout was sloppy. There's a dirty joke in there, but I think we're going to move past that.
Well, first of all, like, again, like, we had 20 years to prepare for this, prepare for a pullout, and I feel like we didn't at all. I feel like we should have, first of all, we left, like, a bunch of weapons and shit. Like, that was weird.
Would you believe that that's standard operating procedure?
It is?
It's cheaper. It is cheaper to buy new shit than to ship it back.
Okay, so that was weird. And then also the fact that we left a whole bunch of Americans there, and we kind of like abandoned the Afghanistan people who helped us too. And I feel like that was shitty. Like I know there's like thousands of Americans who are still trapped.
I agree with every bit of that, but I think the problem there isn't so much in like it wasn't planned for, there wasn't a plan in place. I think the White House intelligence and senior military staff had a plan, and they had worked out a plan with like, all right, we're going to gradually pull out. We're going to leave all these weapons for the Afghani army. We're going to leave all these supplies for the Afghani army. We trained 350,000 troops. They should be able to hold the country and stand on their own. And we're going to have about a year or so to evacuate our troops, and we can take our time processing these visas. 9 days later, like nobody in White House or military intelligence expected a 350,000 strong army to fold in 9 days to a bunch of illiterate goat farmers on motorcycles.
Well, that's the thing.
Except every soldier who ever served in Afghanistan.
Yeah, like that's the thing when they tell you, oh, your gun won't protect you from the government. And then you see like these farmers with guns just take over shit. Same with like the IRA and stuff. Like, don't listen to those people.
Come out, you black and tan.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, like exactly.
IRA joke on 4th of July up at Pork Fest. Are you familiar with Pork Fest?
Do you know who Luke Rodowski?
Rodowski?
Yes.
Yes.
He was like, "Are you coming to Porkfest?" like months ago, and I googled it. I was like, I don't know what this is. But
You
it's
might
like a
actually enjoy it.
big libertarian fest, right?
It's the largest gathering of libertarians in the world. All like 4,000 of us. At a campground in northern New Hampshire for a week-long festival. It's
that's
fucking
cool.
incredible. They do talks and a bunch of academic stuff. I don't go to any of that. There's a party on the campground.
Mhm.
So you just you get to go to space because chemicals let you do that. So and you're in the woods and it's the perfect place to do that.
Yeah.
On 4th of July this year, I was like kind of hungover from an experience the night before. And that was when I had accidentally started the world's greatest meme thread on Twitter. I tweeted out, "The last meme saved on your phone is why Facebook thinks you're an extremist." And
I think I saw that.
Yeah, I got over 1 million responses.
Holy
to it.
shit.
And I'm like, well, I'm never getting through all of this.
Yeah.
But one of the memes somebody sent me was the IRA meme. It's like, MAGA guy,
Yeah.
I'm a Republican. Me too.
Yeah.
What state you from? Ireland. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck it. That's my 4th of July. I grabbed speakers and just started blasting music on my campsite. I started blasting Kamauchi Black and Tans, Kinky
Nice.
Boots, all the
Nice.
Irish war music. And there's a British guy who was at Porkfest.
Oh no.
Who was
Of
all
course.
sorts of offended. He's like, you know, the Irish lost. I'm like, they're independent. He's like, they're cowards. I'm like, you're just mad because they killed British people. He's
Oh
like, why are
no.
you playing this music? I'm like, it's 4th of July. It wouldn't be celebrating 4th of July if we weren't singing about killing British people.
Yep, there you go. There's an overlap, exactly. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of like unity but I'm like a weird left-wing person though. Like I've been told I'm an outlier, so I don't know if this is the same. But I feel like there's a lot of unity with libertarians and like leftists or whatever, just because we're big fans of like civil liberties, I think. And you don't get that with like authoritarian types. Who want like the state to control like people's personal lives and stuff.
So here's like anti-war, being anti-war. That was like the one uniting grasp between libertarians and progressives that like nobody would deny, is that we were all anti-war. Where do we go now that the big war is over?
It's not. It's
not yet.
There's gonna be a new one. Yeah.
There's not a new one yet. But in the meantime, why don't we all unite about the blue gloves of freedom?
Mm-hmm.
The TSA is still a thing, even though the war's over. The NSA is still a thing.
Oh, fucking, I hate the NSA.
Edward Snowden is still a refugee in a foreign country.
I know.
Like, why can't we get people united on these things? Ross Ulbricht is still in prison for running a website.
Yeah, so I know some left-wing people who would be down. Like, if you guys ever did like a Snowden thing, protest or something, I know lots of them who would be down to join. But a lot of, at least from what I see, I'm not sure how the libertarians are, but a lot of left-wing people, they'll see you guys and they'll find one of you who's problematic. Let's say one of you is in the Boogaloo Boys or whatever, you know what I mean? So they'll be like, oh, we can't like unite with somebody who's, they'll call you like a Nazi or whatever.
Our most prolific Boogaloo Boy is?
But it's what's his name?
It's Magnus.
Yeah, and he's like the sweetest teddy bear.
Most left kind of guy you have.
Like, yeah, he's super left wing. He's very, very left wing, yeah. And so they'll like, for example, they'll see him, they'll see he was like on Jimmy Dore or something like that, and they'll be like, oh, we can't be associated with that. And that's the problem. They want this very again, this is not all at all. So this is just a broad sweep because I know many cool left-wing people who aren't like this. But there's this like, they want this very insular community. The online left wants a very insular sort of clubhouse, and you all have to be pure and perfect, have the pure perfect politics and not be problematic or anything, or not say like jokes online and stuff like that. And so like that's the big thing. And I know that Magnus, is that his name? I always like.
Yes, Magnus.
Okay, that's such a weird name, so I always forget it. Yeah, when he went on Jimmy Dore and Jimmy Dore was like, yeah, let's unite. Like, people were really mad about that. I think Jimmy Dore's kind of fucking crazy lately, but that's besides the point. And it, to me, like, it's good to agree on like problems and solutions to those problems. Like, for example, ending the wars, ending the NSA, freeing Assange, stuff like that. Like, we all agree that those things are bad, so why don't we come together on that? Like, we don't agree about taxes, like, okay, but
well, we agree taxes are bad.
Yeah, we agree that taxes are bad, but one of us is like, okay, they're a necessary thing, and the other one is like, no, abolish them or whatever. But like, that's such a, I don't know. I feel like when it comes to the other things, we could put that aside and we can like focus on those issues. I don't see a problem with that.
All right. So where do you stand on the balkanization of North America?
Wait, explain. What?
All right. So New Hampshire and California are so wildly different, not just in the laws that they have, not just in the geography, the population, but even the culture of the people are so wildly different. In New Hampshire, our Democrats like guns. Like,
yeah, nice, yeah.
Like, we passed constitutional carry with a 50-50 House. Democrats voted for it.
Nice.
We legalized suppressors and silencers with a Democratic governor who signed the bill. Even here in New Hampshire, like New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine, it's a different culture than the rest of the country. So why do we have the same president? Why are we the same country? And why do we have to deal with the same federal mandates and the same one-size-fits-all regulation from the government?
See, I feel like it will just wind up being like Civil War II.
It doesn't have to be.
It will, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't support it. I feel like it's good that we're all one country.
We can go back to the Articles of Confederation.
Yeah. All right.
Each state was independent but united for common defense, and that was the only thing they did together.
Interesting.
And in order to declare war, it took a unanimous vote of every state.
I like that. But yeah, I don't think that will go well. I don't think it would go down well, like Texas trying to secede or whatever. I don't know.
So I think California has the best shot
of seceding.
They have it on the ballot.
Wow.
They're actually going to have whether or not California secedes from the union on the ballot.
All right, bye.
Like the next couple of elections, right?
Have fun.
And honestly, like, to me, like, when I was talking to secessionists and people who were in favor of secession, I had Aliu Axelman on the show a couple weeks ago, and his whole big thing is he's secession. He wants independent New Hampshire, independent New York, independent every country. Every state is own independent country, and he has some good points about how it could work and why it's necessary. I think at the very least, New York and New York City should be different states. California should probably be like 5 different states. But he's like, how do we get about it? People need to like stand up and we need to declare independence for New Hampshire. And I'm like, nah, honestly, I think the best way would be if Trump gets reelected in 2024 and California votes to secede like 2 weeks later, because Trump won't fight that. Trump would be the troll that stands up and says, bye.
Yeah.
Bye, Nancy. Like, no more Pelosi. We're fine. And then the moment California does it, Texas, Alaska, Hawaii, I'll be like, see you too.
Yeah, no, I'm one of those, like, I like that our country is united. Well, it's not. It's pretty fucking divided, but I want it to be united. So I don't know. I'd rather stay the United States of America. California can go though.
Nobody, even the left doesn't like California. Let's get that on record.
They can
even
leave.
The left doesn't like California.
I'm trying to tell you guys that I'm definitely not the left, though. Like, you want to use me as like.
That's the problem. Is the left uses you as their poster girl.
Oh no, they don't. They hate me. Like, so that's what I mean. Like, you guys are like, look, the left. Like, no, I would not use me as like the poster child of the left. Like, because ask the left, and they're just like, Shoe's not left wing.
All right. So how do we get the left on your side?
I've been trying to do that for years. So, they're like, what's that saying? You can't herd cats.
You can't free somebody who doesn't know they're a slave. We call cat herding. Herding cats is the name that we use for having libertarian conventions.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you guys have like a bunch of infighting too about who's like the most libertarian and.
Right, but for
Yeah.
us, it's like, who is the better shit poster online
Oh,
gets to
okay.
claim they're the better libertarian.
Interesting, yeah. So
Like now there's a big block campaign. I don't get this one.
I saw that. Yeah, it was like block somebody. I don't know their name.
It's Block Sarwark, the former chair of the party.
Oh,
Because he's pro-vaccine. Not even like pro-vaccine mandate, but he's just like pro-vaccine and kind of a douchebag. And that being everyone's like, Block Sarwark, Block Sarwark, Block Sarwark. And like I commented at one point, and like Tower Gang guys, I'm like, why block him? Like you take so much pride in breaking people.
Yeah. What's up with the New Hampshire Libertarian Twitter account, by the way? They were posting some crazy shit like months ago. Remember that?
Yeah. So that was a big controversy.
That's like the ones who were like child labor is cool. Like that was them, right?
Here's the thing.
Are you pro child labor?
I'm trying to word this in a way.
Oh no! Oh no! Okay, no, I'll hear. Okay, let me hear out this.
I'm trying to word this in a way where I think the tweet was worded horribly. I think it could have been done so much better to make a point about how arbitrary age limits aren't effective and they don't serve purpose.
Cannot.
But like just saying legalize child labor was like, why would you?
Yeah.
Like that, that's not going to get received well.
Yeah.
Like on what world do you think that's going to get received well? Like, and I had a post, I followed it up with in the comment section. I'm like, maybe you could have just said something about how like occupational licensing and permits for 16-year-olds to work keeps people from being able to enter the marketplace and provide for their families based on nothing. Like you need a permit to run a goddamn lemonade stand. Like shit like that is what we want to talk about. Like there's no reason a 15-year-old can't work in the family flower shop. There's no reason.
Well, hey, there's no reason a 15-year-old should have to work to support their family. How about that one? How about we support the family with some...
A lot of family businesses are just run by the family, and it's like I've gone to some family businesses, some card shops where they have the kids who just go in there, they're doing homework and sorting cards because I'm going to go to a comic store, like after school, and they do it to help the family business. It doesn't like take away from them, but like in some states that's illegal. It's illegal for a family to work their family business together. It's illegal for a 16-year-old who wants to mow lawns during the summer to make some spending cash.
Oh, really? Yeah.
In some states.
No, okay, I guess I can understand it. But just saying like child labor should be legal is just like, first of all,
like I said, horribly worded. Like I understood what he was trying to get to and what he was trying to say. Unfortunately, I think I was like the one person on the internet who understood what he was trying to say.
Yeah, didn't even like Ron Paul say something or someone?
Gary Johnson.
Gary Johnson, yeah.
Which, to be fair, Gary Johnson does not run his own Twitter account.
Oh, okay.
Gary Johnson's Twitter account is run by a little douchebag who, God, I can't stand him. But he's one of the whole like. That's the big controversy in the Libertarian Party right now, between the pragmatic libertarians and the radical libertarians. People who think like you should stick to your principles.
Yeah, well, that's like on the left too. Yeah.
And then the prags are like, well, our principles scare people.
Yeah. So like people call those the optic cucks, and then and then like the more radical type of people. Yeah, people have that on the left and the right too. I'm not.
Which is weird to hear because like usually when like my friends, when we talk about the left, it's like referring to the left as such a monolith. It's from the outside, it feels like a monolith.
It looks like a monolith. Well, yeah, that's like to me kind of well, used to be, not so much anymore. The right looks like a big monolith to me, but not anymore. I now like I joked on Twitter that we need like, you know, those like bird watching charts where you like the different species. You need that for like libertarians and right-wing people. Like there's all different types of like species of them.
You got your agorists, you got your mutualists, you got your volunteers,
exactly. There's
you
like
got your anarchists, you got your homeschoolers, you got your Second Amendment nuts. Like
there's many different breeds of them. And they all don't agree with each other. Yeah, mutualism is interesting, though. I said that if I lived in Ancapistan, I would be a mutualist.
That's and I'd probably buy food from your co-op.
Okay. Awesome, yeah.
So, Like that's the thing. It's like I was telling people the other day, I'm not a capitalist. I won't identify as a capitalist because I think the word is fucking stupid.
Mhm.
And I think the biggest problem with people who argue capitalism today is that they're trying to argue assuming a different definition from the left, because the left is arguing capitalism using Marx's definition and the definition from Das Kapital, which is what we have today. It's the corporate hellscape, where corporations hold the power of government and lobby the power of government. That is what capitalism has always actually meant. And the right to trying to co-opt the term to mean free market and voluntary exchange just hasn't worked.
Yeah. That's like when they say it's not capitalism, it's corporatism, guys. It's like, no, it's capitalism. Like,
right. And the people who say it's not real capitalism don't realize that they are just as stupid as the communists who say that wasn't real communism.
Well, listen, some of that isn't real. Okay. Yeah.
What part of the gulag isn't real communism?
Well, it is real communism, but it's authoritarian communism, and a lot of communists don't like that. They like the more anarcho-communism type of thing.
So I
mutualism.
Try to tell people, like whenever I encounter a debate of ANCAPs and ANCOMs arguing with each other about which one of them is bad and which one of them shouldn't exist, I chime in like, you're both fucking retarded. Okay. Neither capitalism nor communism can exist in a stateless society because both revolve around power structures of governance. Like your capitalism requires corporate entity and tax code and laws regulating exchange in order for it to work. Your communism requires that people be forced to share. And the moment somebody doesn't want to share, you have to force them to, and now you're a government.
Yeah, it's like the ANCOM thing is just, to me, it's like a utopia where everyone shares, everyone's sharing and caring, and that's just not reality. So like it's, I don't know, it's however, just like a pipe dream.
Like in a post-state society, there could be a whole bunch of like voluntarists who trade and like live in their cypherpunk city, who then go out to the commune to buy their farm goods from the
that's what I'm saying. Like there's bottom unity is the ANCOM and ANCAP society where you guys will live in the cyberpunk RoboCop cities. And then we'll live in like the commune farmlands, right?
And we'll all get along.
Exactly. And then you'll send in the Mick police to like take all our goods, though. Yeah.
The Mick police. Well, I'd like to say there's never been Mick police, but we had Union busters in the 1800s.
Yeah.
So, all right. Before we go, because we're coming in on an hour, and if we want to go past an hour, we can. But I told you an hour, and I don't want to hold you longer than that. One question that's been bothering me about you and your Twitter and your social and everything: why do you delete so goddamn everything?
Oh, because I have like part of ADHD. All right, I try to explain this to people and they don't understand. So part of ADHD is just like you're extremely compulsive and like weird, where I'll tweet whatever's on my mind, and it's not that I delete it because I regret it. I delete it just because I'm like, I don't feel like this being on my timeline anymore. I don't want this to be a conversation, and I'll just like delete it because like I like my timeline to be like, it's weird because I also have OCD. So there's like there's my ADD and my ADD and my OCD fighting with each other, and I want my timeline to be like, if someone just finds out who I am, I want them to come to my timeline and not see so much fighting or not too many shit posts or whatever. So I'll try to clean it up to only the posts that I want to stay up there. Very weird behavior, but that's, again, just mentally ill. That comes with
they're left as like scars on the internet, because there have been times where like you post something and I'm like, oh, that's fucking great, and I'll like comment on it.
Yeah.
And like 5 minutes later I'll get a notification.
Sometimes I'll like,
what are you commenting on?
Yeah, sometimes I'll like reword it and tweet it again differently, or I'll like save it for another day or something. Very weird, sporadic behavior. I can't.
Every month we get a picture of your draft folder. Can we get a picture of your deleted tweets?
Oh yeah. Well, someone said they want to start a deleted Shoe0nHead tweets account, and I think that they should because it would be very funny. Yeah, but it's very annoying.
Catch them before you delete.
Yeah, you got it. That's the challenge. Exactly.
We'll just assume that everything you tweet is gonna be deleted.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't even know how to do that. But if somebody's techie and can set up a mirror that just retweets everything,
just a bot.
tweets,
Yeah. The deleted shoe tweets bot. Yeah, exactly.
All right. So we're at the hour. Any last thoughts you want to leave people with?
Oh no, this was fun. I'm enjoying going on people's streams lately. I'm getting used to streaming more. Just because I'm terrible at it, and this was very fun. I like having these conversations. And it was so funny that Tower Gang people were like, "Oh, I saw the podcast Shoe goes on. Like, we're so small. We only have 1,000 subscribers." It's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, this is fun. This is chill. I like this. And then one person who knows me, when they got like mad at me about going on the Tower Power Hour, they were like, "What do you get out of this? Like, they just get your clout." It's like, I just have fun online. That's what I'm getting out of it. I don't give a shit. So this was fun. I like to talk to people who disagree with me, who are chill about it and don't want to just debate all the time. I think this is very fun. So
all right.
yeah.
Well, it was great having you on. Super fun having you on. Super fun back and forth and banter on Twitter. Everybody go check out Shoe0nHead on Twitter. And if you're in New York, Shoe0nHead 2024 for governor.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. As always, big shout out to our guests and our viewers for making this show worth doing. And make sure you check out the links in the description to follow up and learn more. And as always, check out our sponsored merch over on snackswag.com. I stream this show to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch live, and everything's uploaded to Odyssey the same day. So make sure you check out our channel on these platforms and help out by liking, following, subscribing, and most of all, sharing the content with your friends. That's all for today. See you guys next time.